because I come from a very, very big city like Cairo. So Frankfurt, I think, was very small for me. And that's why I feel very, very welcomed. Although many people talk about the Berliner Schnauze, which is when people speak what others do not like to hear.
Welcome to a new episode of Most Memorable Journeys. A very special guest today, a very seasoned tourism lady. And I've been trying to speak to her for a while, and she's finally here. I am so glad that she is. And welcome to Most Memorable Journeys, Hebba Bakri. I wanted to introduce you before I said, I wasn't going to say your name yet, but she worked for many years for Lufthansa, but her legacy, I would say, is the Longchamps Hotel in Cairo. And as far as I know, she is half German and half Egyptian. Am I right, Hebba?
You are. Thank you, my dear Elizabeth, for inviting me to your podcast today. And thank you for the patience that you had so that we could enjoy my journey together with you on your podcast. Yes, the Longchamps, I have taken it over from my mother. So actually, this small little boutique hotel was in two generations, in the hands of two generations. And it was after my mother passed away, it was my duty to create this brand, this local brand with my international experience that I had gained all the years living in Germany and in the US.
But you were born in Egypt.
In Cairo, yes.
You were born in Cairo and you grew up in Cairo.
And I grew up in Cairo. My mother gave me the chance every summer to send me to a different summer school to enhance my languages that I speak today almost to the perfection, if not well enough to let me be understood.
Amazing. And this is a little shout out to our friend Nihal who actually got us together, because a few years ago, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I visited her and she's your friend and she took me to the Longchamps, and that's how we met. And ever since, I was so impressed with what you did, because I also believe that in a country like Egypt, and without wanting to be, any condescending or anything, but I'm sure it's more difficult for a lady to have a hotel, to run a hotel, than for a man.
Yes, indeed. A lone standing lady.
Yes.
If you have a family who is behind you, but unfortunately, in this case, my German husband had passed away 6 months after we had arrived in Cairo. And since then, I've been running it on my own. Yes, indeed.
That's tough.
Not easy. Yes.
Let's go back. I want to go back. How did it all start? I was looking at a few things on social media. You grew up in Cairo. You went to school in Cairo, and then you studied at the University of Cairo, right?
Yes, I did. Indeed. Right. I because my parents had gotten divorced, so I didn't want them to pay to have high college fees. Actually, I always wanted to visit the American university and learn how to manage a hotel. And unfortunately, it did not happen. So I decided then to visit the German sector of the Cairo University in German literature, and I graduated with a BA. And a couple of years later, I also had my master's in Goethe's Faust. But unfortunately, I cannot work with Goethe's Faust. Neither in Cairo,
money,
neither.
Exactly.
No one is interested in that.
Yes.
So I decided then to travel abroad. I gathered some international experiences in Bahrain, Sheraton. I gathered also some international experience working as a travel agent in Chicago, Illinois. Meanwhile, I had applied for a job at Lufthansa in Frankfurt, not in Cairo. So I never worked actually in Cairo for that big airline, but I started in Frankfurt. It was very interesting because I also have gathered much experience at Frankfurt International Airport. And today I walk through this airport and I say, oh, I know those walls through, and I know a little bit behind those walls, the back doors of Lufthansa. However, with the time, many things have changed and many walls are not existing anymore. But I think I have a small idea of where my office was and where we used to have our meetings.
Lufthansa is an amazing airline. I recently flew long distance from Frankfurt to Los Angeles, and I actually invited myself, or whatever you want to call it, and I flew business class, and I was on a 747 upper deck, and it's absolutely amazing. I have taken many flights. I was a tour guide when I was young, but this was really a fantastic experience. And I think, you know what I like about Lufthansa? It's this constant quality. It's not something new. You know, they have this, some of the staff some of the ladies who fly for Lufthansa are already quite elderly, old, or whatever you want to call it, not so young anymore, but they do it with the same enthusiasm.
Yes, I should have met you on the same flight because I also invited myself after I closed my business to go and visit my first lady boss who lives now in Los Angeles, and I invited myself also to a business class. And I don't have any reduced tickets anymore. I had left Lufthansa a couple of months before fulfilling those standards. However, to get back to the service you're talking about, yes, the consistency. Yeah, you know what I want to say.
Yeah, you do.
is always there, and implementing you feel that it comes from their heart, and not with other airlines. You notice it's done because it has to be done, or they just have to because of the. Of the gender, or because of the, there are some other. You feel that it's they serve because they want to serve.
Yeah,
and, yes, indeed.
It's
yes.
very genuine. Yes. Yeah. Now, we're going back again. You mentioned that you worked in Bahrain. When was that? That must have been quite a long time ago.
Yes, I pre-opened the Bahrain Sheraton, and this was. I had the luck to work with a great general manager. Okay, let me go back. At the age of 15, before traveling to my summer school, my parents got me a small little practicum. I don't know,
an internship.
An internship at the Nihal Hilton Hotel. The Nihal Hilton Hotel was exactly. So I worked there for 2 months, and I was working for the food and beverage manager at that time. I was 15 years old, and I was typing menus. And this gentleman was called Karl-Heinz Aumann. May his soul rest in peace. I owe him a lot of respect. He taught me a lot. A couple of years later, he contacted my father, as my father was also in the travel industry. And he asked him, what happened to your daughter? And he told him, she just finished her BA in German literature, and she was starting to apply for some jobs in hotels. So he told him, I am the GM of the Alexandria Sheraton at that time. Let her come and see me. Mr. Bakri, I want to tell you, I'm going to hire your daughter in a couple of months because I am opening the Bahrain Sheraton. Friday after, he told him that I should go and see him on Friday. So I had this meeting with that gentleman, and he offered me the job 2 months later as a trainee, as a hotel trainee at the Bahrain Sheraton. it was still not, it was open, but not opened yet. That's why we call it in our industry pre-opening, just to get a hotel or a premises accelerated. So he gave me a hard time. He gave me a really hard time. For 3 months, every morning, I was attending either learning by doing or at the training department, learning how a hotel functions until I didn't meet his expectations at the end because he expected me to go and cut meat. And I was in the kitchen, and I went to the kitchen, and I saw the blood of the meat, and I went to him and I said, "Sorry, Mr. Kalman, I can't really carry this training course because you will never become a general manager." I said, "I don't want to become a general manager." "What? I see you a general manager, but you have to go through this course." And I said, "Mr. Alman, I'm sorry." And I started crying. I said, "Okay, if it's like that, then no meat, but we still are going to enhance your training in marketing." So I finished my 3 months, and I didn't get the certificate for the food and beverage, so. But I got it for the roast meat. But because of the red meat, I couldn't see meat being cut in front of me. And this training included 3 days only in the butcher. Only. There are 3 days bakery. There are 3 days whatever. Yeah. 3 days meat. And Hebba could not see the meat. So I'm not good in that.
That's okay. You can't be good at everything. But where did the fascination about hotels come from the Longchamps?
Yes, because my mother had the Longchamps. She owned the Longchamps.
Tell me something. How did your mother decide to open the Longchamps?
My mother decided to open the Longchamps because she wanted to be independent, and she had to earn her money. And some of her friends had left Egypt in 1952 and 1956. Those apartments were going to be freed, and they didn't want to really give them to the state again because it was the French insurance company which was owning those buildings at that time. And they offered my mother then to those apartments, and then she told them, "But what am I going to do with those apartments? I can only live in one." And they told her, "Why don't you open a small little hotel on this island?" And this is how it started.
This is unbelievable. Your mother was German, and she was
half German.
What was the other half? Egyptian.
Egyptian. Actually, not Egyptian. She was she's not a Caucasian, but the grandmother is German. Her grandmother is German. And my grandfather, whom I've never met because he when they moved from Constantinople to Alexandria, he was the doctor of the royal family, but only stationed in Alexandria. And when he passed away, I can tell you then later on where he came from. I have it written down somewhere. I didn't think that we're going to talk about that. It's a small little race next to Georgia, and not Tajikistan, but they were only very.
But I mean, she was an amazing woman at that time by herself to open a hotel. You obviously took after her because you're also an amazing industrious lady.
Could be. I think she used to take me with her every Sunday to the hotel. So we had the German school was a 5-day school, and Fridays we used to go to the farm, and on Sunday she used to take me with her to the hotel. And my first job at 5 was to answer the phone of the Longchamps, and it was my first. She gave me my first salary at the Longchamps when I was 8. So
That is amazing. Imagine
Yes.
that's where the fascination about wanting to be in a hotel came from, and you continued after your mother passed away. You took over the hotel.
Yes, yes. I had inherited it with many problems. It had lots of debts. So I took the challenge and left my secure job in Frankfurt, and I decided then to take over the Longchamps. However, after 6 months, my German husband passed away, and I was contacted by my former Geschäftsführer in Lufthansa Consulting, and he asked me if I want to go back and leave Egypt and come back to Germany and carry on with my job, or I had the chance of 6 months to take a decision either to go back or to stay in Cairo. And I took the decision. It was a very hard decision to make, and I did. And I decided to carry on this hotel. And to have this local brand. Because
what do you think was it worth it?
Yes, very much so. I would have not met you. I would have not met many interesting people through my hotel, through my small little boutique hotel. Those great personalities are now, many of them are my friends, and they helped me to become what I am today. On the contrary, I think it was a great thing what I did.
Isn't that lovely to be able to say that? And I was reading a little bit about the Longchamps before we started recording, and it was a kind of a boutique hotel, wasn't it? It was each room was different, and it was done with a lot of love. And I also read that your German side kept it very clean.
It's not only the cleanliness, but it's also the hygiene you're talking about. Yes, I think because such small hotels have a very bad history in Egypt, that the hygiene is not up to the standards, and this is where my training came from. Training my team I sent them to 5-star hotels so that we can implement the 5-star standards in a small little boutique hotel like that. I mean, the Longchamps was only on the 5th and on the 6th floor in an apartment building. So you ask yourself, where am I arriving here? So I had to impress my guests. So and I started impressing them by the hygiene, which is, I think,
you did
means a lot. Yes.
Yes, you
it means
did.
A lot to
I read a lot
guests.
about it, and I actually also went on TripAdvisor, and people were writing in there how much the owner, Hebba Bakri, was like involved in helping people and organizing stuff for people. Somebody wrote that she was going to go on an excursion to the desert, and you lent her clothes because you were afraid that she could be cold.
Yes, and I asked her what kind of shoes is she wearing, and she told me 39. So, and I gave her also shoes for the sand, because she wanted to go with sandals, open sandals. In the desert, you don't go with open sandals. And I was also asking all my guests when they were also visiting the pyramids or visiting Saqqara pyramids or Dahshur pyramids. They wanted to go with open, with schlappen, with flip-flops.
Yes.
Okay, I know it's very hot. I was still wearing my shoes, my closed shoes. But this doesn't mean that Cairo is not really a very, very clean city.
It's not flip-flop friendly.
No, not at all, not at all. And a piece of glass can just ruin your or somebody's their vacations.
Of course, even just a small cut. I totally agree. Yes. Cairo.
If you allow me, I will never forget 2011 in August. Business was not really doing very well because of the revolution and the Arab Spring. And I had a couple of very nice Spanish guests, and I told them not to take the one driver who was in front of the building, because you always have in front of hotels drivers who are picking up their guests and then offering them some routings to take and some sightseeing. And this gentleman took my Spanish guests, and on the way back, because he was taking drugs, with his car, with his taxi, he went into the back of a truck.
Oh no.
And the lady broke her shoulder, broke her nose. So,
they didn't listen to you.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. Cairo
actually,
changed so much in the time that you spent there. I mean, it grew so immensely. What was Cairo like when you were young, when you were small?
I was even talking about that with some friends of mine lately here in Berlin. When I grew up, I saw my mother wearing sleeveless dresses and nice sandals, and very coquette. My father was a very chic gentleman, always wearing ties, and it's. I think I belonged to the bourgeoisie of this country, and I had lots of luck to belong to that social class in Egypt. And when I arrived 18 years later, it wasn't the case. However, I could still walk with sleeveless dresses when I started the Longchamps in 2001. But I think by 2011 and 12, I really had to take care of what I'm wearing. And I believe that the way of getting dressed after 2012 has changed completely today. Till today, I was mostly wearing trousers, long blazers. This coquette was turned to be also a little bit of a very distinguished, classic, modern, but very conservative way of behavior in all cases. So really, first of all, of course, because of the many people have Egypt has received lots of inhabitants. So when I arrived in 2001, I think every year you had almost only 500,000 of newborn, and whereas 2021 you have 1.5 million or 2 million every year.
Every year,
so,
increase of population.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the greenery has started to disappear, because instead of all the greenery that was being Cairo was surrounded of, started to become houses, and houses were being built everywhere.
Cement.
So the awareness of green, the awareness of the air has really striked anybody's health. I was so happy that the Longchamps was on the 5th floor, so I could really enjoy always the famous Zamalek air.
Yeah, because Zamalek is an island, really, or well, it's connected with the town, but there's lots of trees and stuff in Zamalek, but the rest of Cairo is fully cemented, isn't it? Yes. Full of.
And because of lots of the cars, and because of the ignitions of the car, the carbon, the CO2 was really very, very high. Very high.
Yeah. So it may have been a good thing that the lease on the Longchamps ended last year, or this year. Was it this year that you let it go?
On March 20th this year. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we always say everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? And maybe the time had just come because and especially now with the political situation right now, for a small hotel, it's hard. It's hard to survive. And you had many such times, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Indeed. I really had the first, I think from 2001 till 2011, I think these were the golden days of the Longchamps. I think I was very lucky between 2011 and 12 till 2016 to survive. And then 2016, something else happened in Egypt, and that's why it struck us again until everything really took its way again. 2020 came COVID, and let me tell you, I don't think I could have welcomed any other missed chances, because the dollar has increased. It has not the same value anymore. The constant, it's just offering, and then my regulars were really asking me, where is that? Where, when you offer something at the buffet in the morning, they expect when they come back, they want to see the same thing again. And there was no consistency in my offerings, and I didn't like that. I wasn't really, and that's why one of the reasons also I closed the Longchamps.
Yeah. Well, COVID did a lot of harm to many businesses, especially small businesses. And well, it is what it is. The Longchamps is no longer, but it was a very, very good experience. And I'm sure you have lots of very, very good memories. What's the best memory? Tell me a little bit about the good times of the Longchamps.
Oh my God. I met many nice people. I think this is also very interesting and very popular. Oh my God. Every day was full of new experiences and very challenging. I used to really go out of my way just to make my guests happy. I can tell you lots of challenges. I really don't have them in mind yet, but really, I think I achieved a clientele at the end that I really wanted. I wanted them all to be I wanted them all to speak the same language and to be all homogeneous in the restaurant in the morning. And I think this is what one of the reasons that I really fought for it. I have to admit also that I was a little bit picky about choosing my guests.
So sometimes you were fully booked when you were not fully booked.
Exactly. Or yes. But it's just so that I can keep that the standards of my hotel.
Yeah.
But I used to suggest also other premises on Zamalek for my guests, and they used to come after that and say, yes, we've been to that and that hotel. We're coming back on the second stay. Would you happen to have then some rooms available? And I would give it to them. So when you see the guest, yeah.
So basically, you were not only managing the hotel, you were also matchmaking the clients, because you wanted them to have the same intellectual breakfast conversations.
Yes, indeed, and it happened. It did. Yeah. Many guests were meeting. I used to make some in the evenings. I used to make some cocktails and match some guests together. And many projects have been created. And many recruitments out of my guests, they just bundled together. This was good. So I think the Longchamps was also the hub of the town and the talk of the town, of the German community. And I'm receiving today many emails mentioning that
they miss you.
I'm being missed. Yes.
Yeah, you are now in Berlin. And you told me before we started recording that you're happy to be in Berlin.
Yes, I think I chose to move from Frankfurt to Berlin because Berlin is a very a multicultural city. Because I come from a very, very big city like Cairo, so Frankfurt I think was very small for me, and that's why I feel very very welcomed. Although many people talk about the Berliner Schnauze, which is when people speak what others do not like to hear. But I think I feel great, and I really feel very comfortable, but I cannot say that I don't miss Cairo. Of course, I miss Cairo because these are my roots. But I'm the globetrotter between both countries.
That's beautiful. And you are basically, when you look at it in the right way, you have the best of both worlds, because you can go to Cairo whenever you want, because you know enough people there to have good company. And then you can go back to Berlin. And it's too hot in Cairo in the summer anyway.
It wasn't like that 30 years ago. The climate change.
It wasn't like that in Cyprus 30 years ago.
You see? Yeah.
Everything has changed. So what are you going to do now?
For the moment, I am just unwinding, because I had 25 years constant challenges, and I think I need to calm down a little bit. I'm seeing friends that I haven't seen for quite some time. Nihal was, in fact, one of them, because during when I was working, we have common friends, including her husband as well, where I grew up with them all together, and I never used to see them. So I'm very happy that I'm seeing friends that I didn't see for many years. Definitely, I will do something, and definitely it's going to be within the hospitality industry. Once an hotelier, then always an hotelier.
Yes,
a giver is always a giver.
Yes, but I think it may also be interesting to write a few Longchamps stories.
I was, some of my friends asked me if I could write a book about the Longchamps. I'm still taking those steps, and I will decide by the beginning of next year what I will do. I will let you know.
That's fantastic, and you should take all the time in the world to, as you say, to unwind and to relax and to reflect, because I'm sure because everything was so hectic during the time that you did it. Yes. If you replay it in your mind, a lot of things will come back that you didn't even notice that they were happening while they were happening, because everything went so fast.
You said it. I really have to reflect a lot. That's why it's. I have to put also my thinkings into how do you say?
Into
I have
order.
to put it into order. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I also suggest that maybe one day on your way to Cairo, you could do a little stopover in Cyprus and visit me.
I would love to do that. Yes, that's a very good idea.
Because
I never thought of that.
It's only a 50 minutes flight from Larnaca to Cairo, and Lufthansa flies from Berlin. No, I don't know. They don't fly from Berlin, but there is other flights from Berlin to Larnaca.
From Frankfurt. Yes, of course.
Yes. So
this would be a great idea.
I think so too. And because we've come to the end of this podcast episode. I usually do about 40 minutes. We have done that, and we've had a lot of fascinating memories here, the most memorable stories. And I want to thank you for Hebba Bakri for being today on Most Memorable Journeys, for taking the time to doing that, and especially because you are in the unwinding process, that you took the time to do this. Thank you so much.
I thank you for your time and for your invitation. Much appreciated. See you then. Take care. Bye-bye.
If you enjoy my podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You will find all the information in the show notes.